Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Tennessee Middle School. My name is Principal Gonzales, but you guys can call me Coach. I think I like being called Coach more like being called Principal. I think it's a little scarier. Anyways, I just want to welcome the three of you to Tennessee. All of us are new to the school, so I think we're going to do great. We're going to learn a lot from each other. And over this summer, something I want to talk to you guys about is I read a book about leadership styles. And I'm talking about 3 different leadership styles. And in front of you, there's a paper that says checking your own educational philosophy and supervisory beliefs. And underneath that, you're going to have an inventory. And what we're going to do is I'm going to let you guys take about 5 minutes to go through that inventory, answer the questions, and do the calculation at the end to come up with a result. And we'll discuss the results as we go through. You guys have about 5 minutes. All right, so thank you for taking that quiz or that inventory. What we're going to do now is talk a little bit about the inventory and the supervisory styles. There's 3 different styles. We have directive, collaborative, and non-directive. Directive is where you as a supervisor produce most of the responsibility, and this type of style is helpful for less experienced and less motivated staff. We have collaborative. So collaborative, just exactly how it sounds like, working together to do something. You come up with decisions together, actions together, and this is really helpful when you're a supervisor and you've taught that subject before, or you're very knowledgeable on that issue. And a non-directive supervisor is kind of a style that you can use on your most effective teachers, I believe, because this is where you just kind of sit back, you help the teacher create a plan, and you observe them and you let them create a self-analysis. Because those teachers that work at a high level, they will critique themselves, they'll be their own worst critics, and they want to get better. And you can just sit back and help them out as needed. Okay, so if you did the calculation at the end, you should come up with some numbers. Okay, when I did mine this summer, I did my totals were 40.2% directive, 40.2% non-directive, and 20.1% collaborative. So I think that says a little bit about me, and I felt like that was pretty accurate. I'm the kind of person that I think that you're a professional, you get paid to do a job, and you're going to do the best that you can, and I'm going to sit back and watch. Now, once I think that you're not being effective, or if you come asking me for help, then we'll get into more of the directive. Okay, I'll start telling you what I need to get done, letting you do something where it's in a timeline or in a timely manner, more organizational skills. So each one of you should have answered, and your answers are probably very different from mine. Your percentages, one's extremely high, one's extremely low. So one thing to look about is probably your lowest one. Why is that low? Think about that. And what can you do to make that better so we can be equal across all 3 different styles? Because not every teacher will respond to a directive style. So after identifying our campus needs assessment last week, we all know what's coming in the new year, and we got to know each other a little bit, and this is going to help you learn about your supervisory style. So I want you to share your results with the person next to you, and we'll kind of talk about your styles, or where you ranked, or where your percentage was higher. So now that we all got a little more familiar with each other, or your different styles, or where you're stronger or weaker at, okay, we're going to move on. So something else from this book that I was reading this summer was talking about how we can help our marginally effective teachers. So we have our effective teachers, and then we have our ineffective teachers. But somewhere in the middle, kind of the teachers that fall through the cracks, they're marginally effective. Now, sometimes this could be a teacher who was effective and is not effective anymore, and that's where your personal relationship comes into knowing the teacher. As we do walkthroughs and the teachers are used to seeing you in their class, often they don't think you're in there just to go, I got you, and write them up for something. Now, you develop a real good relationship with them, and Maybe they have a death in the family, or they're going through a divorce. And that can cause some of these teachers to drop from being effective to being marginally effective. So in the book, they talk about diagnose, right? What's causing the problem? The prescription is what are we going to do to fix the problem, and the timeline is how long do we have to fix the problem, or how long should we expect? And obviously a timeline is not going to be the same for everyone. That's why I cut out a little chart and put it on the side right there. It says longer time to improve and shorter time to improve. And those are your teachers. Okay. Your teacher who's on a term or continuing contract, maybe a more veteran teacher, might take a little bit longer time for them to improve because they're kind of set in their ways, or they think what they do is best and they're not willing to change. Okay. And we'll talk about documentation for that later. But our job is to try to get them to understand that they're not being effective, and we're going to give them ways to become more effective. On the right side, you'll see the shorter time to improve is your probationary contract, your new teachers, especially if you hired a good one, since we selected most of our new teachers this year. Our new teachers should be able to absorb everything kind of like a new student. So the better we are, the better they are. If we have any serious problems or something that cannot be fixed, then we're going to make sure that we know how to document everything properly, and we should be able to write that in their evaluations. Make sure that you're being very honest in your evaluation. The last thing you want to do is feel bad for someone and rank someone as exceeds expectations when in reality they're not, and then you can't cut paper on them to try and terminate them or non-renew their contract. So just a few things that I wanted to talk about. We need to learn how to respond and support each other, and creating the relationship so teachers respond to us well, and they understand that we're here to make them better. The last thing that we need is to not be present in a teacher's classroom, not help them out in certain areas as far as like growth or professional development, and all of a sudden do a walkthrough and write them up for something where they feel or where they get on the offensive. So we need to make sure that just as we want our teachers to have positive relationship with our students, we need to have positive relationships with the teachers. So the easier it is to identify who's being marginally effective and trying to correct those teaching practices. I want to thank you for showing up to today's presentation. We need to make sure that we have a great school year this year, make sure that we make all those new teachers better, assign them great mentors, and we ourselves need to be great mentors to everybody on staff. Remember, they're looking up to us to be the best that we can be. We need to model for all of them exactly what we expect from them. So we need to make sure that we walk into their classrooms often, and we're assessing the instruction in classrooms, because we don't know what's going on in the classroom if we are not present in the classroom. It's the only way that we're going to be able to improve anything around here. I really want to thank you guys for showing up here today, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Email me, call me, text me. You guys have my number. There is probably nothing too big or too small to come talk to me about. If you guys don't have any questions, that's probably going to be it for today. Remember to enjoy the next few days without students, and get ready mentally and prepare yourselves for the upcoming school year. We have a lot of responsibility ahead of us, and we need to make this the best year that we can. Thank you guys again, and enjoy the rest of your day.